Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoop, back with some new Draft League content. We had a phenomenal run in the UPC Minors, the Ultimate Pokemon Conference Minors, Season 1, where we went undefeated in the regular season, made it to the finals, and got hacked out. We won't talk about that though. We were promoted to the Majors League, which is important. Let's see here. Hosted by Phantom Base, aka Tyler, as always. UPC is something we've been looking forward to coming back to, minors or majors, regardless. I think the league's really well put together. The league documents really well organized. The guys are great. The is fair. It's solid. It's good enough. It's not Gypsy King or Aki VGC, but it's good. And we had, what pick did we have? Let's take a look. We had the 5th overall pick in the draft. We had the 5th overall pick in the draft. What went first? I think Mega Lopunny went first. Kieran Black went second. I want to say Mew went third. And what went fourth? I think Celesteela went fourth. So we finally had the opportunity to draft Tapu Koko. We had the chance to get Landers Therian again, like we had in the minors. We had a chance to get a lot of different things, but we chose Infernape. Infernape's something I've been wanting to use for quite a while. I haven't used it in a long time. I don't feel it's lost any value since XY or Oris or anything like that, or even Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun and Moon's only going to benefit it even more, in my opinion. Strong fighting types, fire types, always really good. Infernape has solid speed, great mix attacker, gets Stealth Rock, Taunt. Some cool utility like Slack Off. Different setup options like Bulk Up, Calm Mind. Swords Dance and Nasty Plot are pretty standard, but Bulk Up and Calm Mind could be cool. Got the Encore, the Endeavor, Fake Out. It gets Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Fire Punch, Flare Blitz, all kinds of awesome Fire Stab. Close Combat, Brick Break, Blaze Kick, which is like just amazing to have so many different options of the same stab. Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Gunk Shot, so some pretty good coverage moves there. Gets Home Claws, which could boost its accuracy if you're running things like Gunk Shot or Stone Edge or something like that. Could be nice. Low Kick, Mach Punch, Overheat for like a mixed attacker. Overheat in close combat just hit really, really hard. It even gets Power Up Punch and Shadow Claw. Like I said, Slack Off. Stealth Rock, some pretty cool utility moves there. Taunt, U-Turn, and Will-O-Wisp. Obviously gets Thunder Punch, Fire Punch. It doesn't get Ice Punch, which would be actually pretty cool for things like Garchomp. It does get things like Counter, Endure. So got some weird sets you could run there with utility moves that could catch somebody off guard. Also, like a Choice Scarf Punishment set against something like a Mega Latios or a Mew would be cool. It gets priority with Mach Punch, Vacuum Wave, a Fake Out. I already mentioned that one. So yeah, Infernape's really cool. Has awesome speed at 108 base speed, 104 base attacks, and decent defenses. Well, not decent, but just below average, I would say. Gets Iron Fist and Blaze ability, both of which are really cool. And I did get to choose 2 Z move users, one being my first pick, Infernate, second being my second pick, Hydreigon. Another beloved Mon. I picked up Hydreigon in the second round because I wanted to immediately fill out a Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and this was going to be my first way to start that. I wanted something versatile. This thing could be defensive, offensive, mixed offense, mixed defense even, with 92 base HP, 105 base attack, 90 base defense, 125 base special attack, 90 base special defense, 98 speed. It's pretty solid. Dark Dragon leaves it only weak to Fairy, Dragon, Ice, Bug, and Fight. It's 5 weaknesses, so I shouldn't say only, but it's different. It's different. This thing gets Draco, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Tail if I want. It now gets Defog. It gets Crunch, Earthquake and Earth Power, Fire Blast and Fire Fang, and Flamethrower. Flash Cannon for those fairy types that could be problematic. It gets the, I don't think it gets Fire Fang. Does it get Fire Fang? Yes, it does get Fire Fang, Ice Fang. What about Thunder Fang? I'm not really sure. It does get Outrage. It gets Reflect. I think it gets Light Screen as well. Roost for longevity, which is super important. Tailwind, Taunt, Thunder Wave, Toxic U-turns, and Headbutt. This thing can do so many different things. Like I said, it gets Workup as well, so it does have a form of setup, and it can also use Psych Up, where it can copy the target's current stat changes, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It gets Surf. There's a new Dark type move called Throat Chop. So if I Throat Chop a Mega Gardevoir, it in turn cannot use Hyper Voice, which is amazing. Like, this thing, like a Choice Scarf, Throat Chop can 100% check a Mon that it is 4 times weak to. That is insane. So I can click Throat Chop. So the Choice Scarf Throat Chop hits the Mega Gardevoir, does, I would say, around 60, 70, maybe 80%, depending on the investment of the Gardevoir. It tries to go for Hyper Voice, but can't because I've chopped its throat. Oh man, that would be so cool to see. So that's going to be my second Zmon user, which is my second and last, I should say. Next up, we're going to draft a Fairy type, and we're going to grab our girl Clefable here, Mr. Kaplan, the Clefable. Fairy type with average stats. But what makes Clefable so good is it has 2 abilities. Magic Guard, well, it's got 3 abilities, but it's got 2 abilities that you're going to use. Magic Guard, this Pokemon can only be damaged by direct attacks, and Unaware. This Pokemon ignores Pokemon stat changes when taking or doing damage, which is super, super, super cool. So I can run even like an offensive Clefable with Life Orb, Magic Guard, so I can get those Life Orb hits without taking recoil. This thing can be an Unaware Wall, could be a Magic Guard Wall, defensive, specially defensive, mixed defensive. But like I said, its stats are so average: 95 base HP, 70 base attack, 73 base defense, 95 base special attack, and 90 base special defense, and 60 base speed. So really average stats. So what really does make Clefable so good? Like I said, its abilities, Magic Guard and Unaware, its pure typing of Fairy, and its moveset. It gets Stealth Rock, it gets Wish, Wish Protect, Encore, Thunder Wave, Aromatherapy, Gets Calm Mind, Counter, Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast for Fairy Stab, Endeavor, Fire Blast for those steel types, Fire or Flamethrower for those other steel types that you don't want to miss, or that have a 4-time weakness. Heal Bell, Aromatherapy, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, Knock Off, Healing Wish, Light Screen, Magic Coat, Meteor Mash. This thing gets Meteor Mash. Moonlight, Power Up Punch, Psychic, Psyshock, Reflect, Light Screen, Seismic Toss. Like I said, Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Toxic Trick, Wish. Some of those I've already said. Let's see here. Cosmic Power, Curse, all kinds of different things. Endure, Follow Me. Probably wouldn't use that. Or Heal Pulse, wouldn't use that either. Not in singles. So, yeah, you're just seeing how many things, like it gets Misty Terrain, so I can now put up my own terrain. Just like Tapu Fini would. I get Psych Up, so I can, reverse sweep. Yeah, this thing's solid, to say the least. With average stats like it has, it's such an amazing mon. And I think that's why people don't like it, because you look at its stats and you look at its design and it looks like it can do nothing. But let me tell you. Anyways, next up we're going to have our boy Hemingway returning from the minors up into the majors. You know what? Hydreigon came back from the minors too. So Hydreigon and Bronzong coming back from the minors to make their reappearance upon the team. Bronzong has base 67 HP, 89 attack, 116 defense, 79 special attack, 116 special defense, and 33 speed. Pretty slow. It is the best low-tiered or tier 4 mon. Low points, I think it's like 10 points or 9 points in most leagues. To be a premier steel type, with all the resist that brings, a bulky psychic with rocks, access to Gyro Ball, Calm Mind, Flash Cannon, Earthquake, Heavy Slam, extra sensory, Psyshock, Psykick, Light Screen, Reflect, hidden powers of choice, Iron Head, Shadow Ball, Rock Slide, Rock Polish, Trick Room, Toxic, Stealth Rock, Zen Headbutt even. If you want to run like a physical attack and Gyro Ball, Zen Headbutt, maybe Earthquake or something like that. Probably never run Rock Polish. You would need like 3 Rock Polishes to even get any speed. But yeah, Bronzong is so good at just getting up rocks, taking hits, Fairy type, Fairy Rock, fighting. Maybe not so much fighting. I guess it can, but does it really want to? I just don't know. It checks fairies, checks dragons, checks grass, checks other steel types and other psychic types, which is pretty cool, and can just generally be a really, really solid mon for your team. Could set up Trick Room. I did that in the minors for things like Mega Heracross. However, I have pretty decent speed tiers this time. Don't see myself running Trick Room a lot. But yeah, that's Bronzong for you. It's a Rock Setter, Boomer, Gyro Ball. It's pretty self-explanatory. There are some sets that could catch an opponent off guard potentially, though. So next up, we got the Superior with Contrary. This thing is pretty solid. It now gets Defog, Aromatherapy, Calm Mind, Coil, Dragon Pulse. Since dragons resist Leaf Storm or Energy Ball or Giga Drain, whatever you may be running. This thing gets Glare, Knock Off, Leech Seed, Light Screen. I think it's Reflect as well. It gets Pursuit now. I don't know if it's always got that, but it does get that now. Swords Dance, Synthesis, Taunt, which is all pretty cool. Nothing crazy. It gets a Mirakota. That's pretty cool. Nothing crazy though. This thing, it's either going to be like a Sub-Leech set or a Leaf Storm set or maybe a Scarf or Spec set or something like that. and just I've been wanting to use it. I drafted it in the Pokemon Battle Federation, but traded it immediately for Delmise. So I wanted to just draft it again and see if I can actually use it now. Next up, we got our round six Zapdos. Base stats are 90 for HP, 90 attack, 85 defense, 125 special attack, rocking right there with the Hydreigon, 90 special defense, and 100 speed. Zapdos, I'm not talking about Zapdos. Everybody knows what Zapdos does. So, next up we got Donphan here. Another mon that's pretty self-explanatory. Defensive set, Stealth Rock, Sturdy, whatever. Earthquake, Ice Shard, Knockoff, Spam, stuff like that. It does get things like Gunk Shot, Gyro Ball, Fire Fang, Play Rough. Can be an offensive set, but mostly there to rapid spin, set rocks, and keep rocks away. It's just basically hazard control. With spammable Earthquake and good enough coverage moves to make sure that I'm safe. That's the thought process behind the pick anyway. Yeah, so next up we got Snorlax. It's another mon that really needs no introduction. Immunity, thick fat, curse set, body slam, choice banded, crunch, facade, frustration, double edge, earthquake, fire punch, etc. You're never gonna see this thing run special sets, so I'm not even gonna talk about its special move set or anything like that. This thing gets a whirlwind. I'm not gonna talk about this much. Anyways, with the new berries introduced in Generation 7, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, Snorlax got a buff because of gluttony and like figgy berries and agua berries, all those different berries that can give you almost all your HP back. So with gluttony, this thing's a little bit different. With base 160 HP and base 110 special defense, it can be a fucking solid special wall. Yeah. So yeah, that's just basically the thought process behind Snorlax. It was still there, and a very, very solid mon. Can potentially be a win condition almost every week, bar like super strong fighting type mons. This thing takes it can't be one-shotted, that's for sure, unless excessive setup or something like that. Anyways, now we're gonna use a mon we've never used before at all. I've never used this mon whatsoever. I've seen it used quite a few times. We have Mega Baynet, or Banette. I say Baynet. Anyways, this thing gets Prankster ability, so it gets like Prankster Cotton Guards, Prankster Destiny Bond, Prankster Disable, except against Dark type attacks, because Prankster was nerfed. Anyways, it gets things like Calm Mind and Dark Pulse. I don't think Dark Pulse would be all that conventional. I do get Foul Play, Hex. Hex behind a Prankster Will-O-Wisp would be pretty cool. Gets a Knockoff and Magic Coat. Pursuit, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak, Sucker Punch, Taunt. So we got that Prankster Taunt there. Prankster Trick Room, Prankster Will-O-Wisp. I don't know if Prankster Trick Room works because Trick Room has negative priority and Prankster has it boosts the priority, raises priority by 1. Okay, so then Trick Room would have I think it's -5, so Trick Room would then have -4 priority. Priority is a weird topic in Pokemon. So it gets things like Endure, Curse, Confuse Ray. I don't know if Confuse Ray is actually legal. Confusing inducing moves without damage output are usually banned in leagues to prevent any extra RNG. But yeah, I'm super hyped to use Mega Baynet. It gets things like Skill Swap, and it's another mon that gets that Throat Chop. So what have we got next? We got our boy Pukamaku. Watched my boy Aki VGC use this thing, and it really, really made me want to start using it. It's got amazing defenses, no kind of offensive presence, but it can do things like I saw my boy Aki use a soak set. So what soak does is turns your target into a water type. No matter what type it is, it turns into a water type, and then you can then toxic stall it because you have unaware, so nothing's going to take advantage of your passiveness and set up on you. You can soak it, make it a water type, click the toxic, and then recover until that thing dies from toxic. However, things like hillbilly users, aromatherapy users, other recovery users could potentially maybe beat you 1v1. You do get taunt though, counter, purify, quash, psych up, all kinds of weird stuff. But like I said, this thing really has no offense. Like, I don't even think it can like put out offensive damage. No, it really has no offensive moves. Besides like a bide, if you want to count that. That's actually pretty interesting. It does get baton pass though, so I can use it for momentum. It gets memento, reflect, and light screen, so that's pretty cool. And if I need any help, I'll holler at my boy Aki VGC. Last but not least, we got our girl Vivillon here with the Icy Snow. It is winter time, so I'm going to use that Icy Snow Sprite for the remainder of the season. This thing gets Shield Dust and Friend Guard, but mostly going to be using Compound Eyes. This thing can aromatherapy, calm mind, endeavor, defog as well. Get some pretty good coverage with light screen and quiver dance being there as well. So it's not a bad one at all. Sleep powder, stun spore, sub, tailwind, U-turn, momentum. It's just a lot of cool things this thing can do, and can just make your opponent think a little bit. Like, is he gonna bring that fucking bug? Is he gonna bring that fucking bug? You never know. You never know. So, yeah, that's going to be my draft. Got my boy Vivillon here to round it out. Didn't have a bug type anyway, so wanted to not break my tradition of drafting a bug in the UPC. So, yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you think about my draft. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching.